Okay guys, here's the next one we're trying. This is a bit of a request, but I was talking to Stoic and a few people who kind of wanted to see the bear version of a paladin. So the tricky thing with bear is AR, because we're using normal attack, so it's like unbuffed. I have really terrible AR, so that's why I need to bring in a demon limb. So what am I doing? I'm using Stormspire for the 75% chance of casting level 40 static, which will reduce their res by 32. And I'm putting in all these shales in the 15 IS jewel in order to hit 4 frames per attack. I swapped from the Griffins to Akira's because I needed the res. The res is a bit tight, so without this, it's a bit of a pain. I gotta move around a lot of stuff, so it's just a bit easier that way. Similarly, I also had to take off the aura amulet and put on a metal grid for the res issue. Triple jaw Venomord. The IAS on these actually does nothing, so there's probably a few different things I could do here. But they had AR, PLR, and some res, so I just kept them. AR Raven, max res on the T-Gods, AR Natures, the classic boots I'm wearing, and I'm mixing up between Lightning, Large Charms, and Offensive or Grand Charms. This is what got me the most damage, and then I'm using res and some FHR just to get hit the 48 FHR, and like I said, it kept my res. 2 skill Annie and Paladin Torch here. For skills, so we're maxing Holy Shock, and then Bless Aim, and then Salvation and Res Lightning. Since we don't use any combat skills, I've then dumped everything else into Res Cold and Res Fire just to get my max reses up a bit higher, so I get a bit more tanky there. So Blessed Aim was changed now this season to have its passive be minus target defense, which is nice to hit, but it used to be flat AR, or percent AR, which was good to get your AR up, but it works similar, but it's not quite the same. So we're going to try this on, okay, I have already cubed, I guess. So difficulty 1 means Vex, so this is a Vex run. I'm bringing in a lot of potions here just because it's going to be, I don't know what it's going to be like. So what are we doing? When I go in, I need to battle order, battle cry. I then have to swap to my demon limb to enchant, and then I have to swap to beast to transform. Then I have to swap back to this and start attacking. So it's a bit of a nightmare, but let's just see how it goes. So this is basically, oh yeah, then I plan to drop the pots. We're going to do this. We demon limb up. We beast up. We transform. Put the CTA back on. And we go in. So you can see the damage there. And you can see we are hitting stuff, so the AR gets up to about 4k, which isn't crazy, but since we have minus target defense and stuff, which doesn't show up on your stat screen, that's kind of where the difference is. I don't really want to deal with all this, but... So the issue we have, besides everything else being an issue in Bear, is we're kind of slow and we're just running around everywhere. So that's going to be the problem when we get to later phases. Specifically with the Void Knights. So this build also really struggles in general with like multiple enemies, density, only because of FHR lock and stuff like that. I don't have that crazy FHR, but it's still a bit of a pain. Okay, so we're gonna go in. I'm gonna drop 3 potions, and I'm gonna BOBC, swap to Demon Limb, then swap to Beast, and hopefully it all works out okay. So we made it. Unfortunate. That was a really unfortunate cold wave there. I would have got all those. But we do so much DPS here that I'm not actually worried about killing the golems. We could probably ignore the golems if we wanted to and just keep bursting down men down each phase, but as long as we don't get cold waved, we're gonna clearly crush these golems. So it's actually, I mean, it's kind of a meme, but it does also work, so there's that aspect of it, which is kind of cool. So the static, you know, it has the passive, the general static to actually reduce the health of the mob you're doing, which is pretty useful as well, aside from the res. You know, it's capped on bosses, but for the golems and such, it will work. So. Honestly, the biggest issue I'm thinking about is if I can just increase my health by a little bit more and just drop CTA altogether. Because I think that the loss of 6 pots actually might matter. I still have a cube full right now, so I'll be okay right now, but it's potential in phase 3 that, you know, you could run out. But, so we'll have to see how that goes. That was actually a pretty good phase 1. Not too bad. I mean, it's Vex level. We see we had this left, so that is a bit interesting. See how well this keeps going. Again, it's a bit of a pain. We have to enchant each time. If that somehow wasn't like that, that would be at least interesting. What I didn't do is I didn't put out my oak. So I guess that proves that the CTA probably isn't needed. So, I mean, I'm going to see how this works in the Void Knights, because I don't know how with the Crep, how that's actually going to feel. And running really slow after these Knights, I don't know if I'll just run out of pots trying to chase them down. But if I can get on them pretty quick, it's actually a little bit interesting. But the splash and using a bigger weapon is kind of nice. So let's see if we can just run past a lot of this right now. Okay, let's just... Okay, that's not too bad. Okay, so same strategy here. We're going to drop them. Luckily he's magic damage, so it shouldn't be as big of a deal here. Just getting ready for the knights to come out. I don't want to be... this is so fast. So this is the worst part. Is the FHR and a bear is just awful. If I could hit a higher frame, I would. But it's a bit challenging with this gear and life. Okay. So damage is definitely there, as long as you can reach them, which wasn't that bad there. But the damage on the boss is just silly. Just the speed. The static coming off 75% of the time is really nice. It's always up. Which is nice. And then we can just finish off the boss here. So, really cool run there, actually. Getting quick at that will be kind of important. We haven't had to drop our cube yet, so I'm a bit hopeful for this. Let's just put this here for now. I just picked up the mana pot so I can pick up health pots while waiting for my antidote to drop. That one was just a misclick, so. So, like I said, I definitely like the damage here. The damage is really fun. The mobility, it just sucks. And the FHR, so maybe I can fix the FHR somehow, but it's tough because you go through these options of what you can do, but if you're going to lose health and damage, it stops being as useful. I mean, I think health might be the way to go. Actually, I screwed up and I'm off a frame for my FHR, so that was pretty stupid. I thought I took off one of my charms by accident. So that's, yeah, I was ready for it. So that's not really good. That's my fault. Okay, so we're gonna do the same thing here. Let's see how this goes. Yeah, so the quicker we can get it down the knights, the smoother this will go. One, because of decrep, but two, just that FHR lock. I think I screwed up my antidote there. So I'm just going to try to burst him down quickly here. Antidote did a little off timing there. This was really weird that we get men down second, but I mean, that was pretty wild. So, I mean, decent run, I'll have to say. So that was the Shock Bear Pally. Better than expected. A little knacky with all of this. I'm gonna have to rewatch it to see how I feel, but let's do it again here. So this is the max frames we got with Stormspire, made 120 IS, I have 125 on there. Off weapon IS doesn't matter, so the gloves don't help me here. Kira's, Metal Grid, Venom Ward, Rez, Nature's Peace, T-Gods, Raven. This is really just PLR and such. You see Lightning, Large Charms, Offensive Grand Charms. This mix got me the best damage at these skill levels, but it's very close, interchangeable between the two. 2 skill Annie, 2 Paladin. For swaps, I have a Beast to transform into the Bear. I have the CTA to do the Battle Orders, Battle Command. I do use the Holy Shield as well, but it's not really helping here. It would help with block frames if I was blocking, but it just gives me some defense, which doesn't really help. Just a knack, I guess. And then Demon Limb for the AR. That's what gives us the big AR jump. And we see we got some decent attack here, 72%. Hitting the max res because we've kind of dumped all of our extra points into these reses here. And we're maxing all the synergies to Holy Shock. So that was the Shock Bear Pally. So yeah, maybe I'll try that a bit harder difficulty. Cheers.